Today we're joined with one of the traders from Evercrest Funding who's had a payout. He's been on his journey through obviously trading multiple accounts to then successfully getting a payout and hopefully securing another one in the future. So if you'd like to introduce yourself and tell us how you got into trading.
Good morning. Yeah, my name's Brad. Been trading with Evercrest for about a month and a half now. Yeah, got into trading about a year ago. Just wanted a bit of an extra income. Long year. Very long year, lots of ups and downs, but yeah, finally, found a bit of a light at the end of the tunnel, and managed to secure my first payout with Evercrest, and I think I've got another one on the go now, coming into the next week or so. So yeah,
nice. How long do you feel like it took you before everything clicked? When you had that moment where you thought, I could do this now, I could earn good money from it?
There was, like I said, there was a lot of ups and downs, and there was more downs than ups, to be honest. In the space of 12 months, lots of wanting to give in, lots of this isn't for me. Sort of lost money along the way, which a lot of people just give in, at that point. Exactly. And then there was a time where I was just launching money into 100,000, 100k accounts and 200k accounts, and I was just blowing them, non-stop blowing them. And it just got to the point where I just got bored and fed up of it. I'm just spending too much money here. So I kind of took a step back and I bought myself a 50k account. And that was where I secured my first payout, obviously on a different prop. At that point, Evercrest wasn't around. But I managed to get my first payout, which was 3.5k. And that was it. That was kind of when it clicked. I realized I was doing the same things, I was trading the same, but I think that the pressure of seeing, minus, 2k or minus 3k to minus 500 or minus 400, that was when it clicked to me. And I realized that, with that account, I just had to do what I was doing in the first place, just, stick to what was working for me. And I used that money to buy myself another 200k account. And that was just non-stop then. It was just payout after payout. So yeah,
the psychology factor of large numbers it does massively affect you. I always say, when somebody comes to me and says what would you recommend me purchase my first ever prop, I'd say, look, unless you're trading a live large account where you're used to their numbers already, I'd recommend going between the 50 or the 100k. 100k is still quite high, but what you find with 100k is easy maths in it. I know it's
definitely
still larger, but it's easier maths. When you start going into the 200, 300, 400k accounts, and people see their trades running on a 400k account, for example, they'd be running at $2,000, and then they just pull the profit, but then that's only a 0.5%, whereas their full target was a 3RR, so it does make a massive difference. What markets do you trade? What's your bread and butter? What do you tend to stay away from?
Tried everything.
Yeah.
Over this past year, I've tried everything. Gold, is my favorite. Gold's my number one, and I've realised that was another thing that I kind of did, realise that, and it did click along the way. Was I've got to kind of stick to one or two pairs max, because you trade gold, it'd be up and down, very wicky, and it just tag you out. Let's go into GBP or let's go into Euro, and then the way it fluctuates, it was different. So I kind of stuck to my my gold after getting that payout, and I've been with gold ever since, to be honest. So I haven't really chose any other pair, to be honest, and it's gone good for me. So I'm just sticking to what's going good for me at the moment.
Yeah, because a lot of people are probably watching this and go you can't be profitable trading gold, but I'm the same. I only trade gold. It's all I know. I've been doing it for 8+ years, and gold is the same as me. It's my bread and butter. I can read it, and it plays out a lot faster, like you said. For me, going back to the psychology aspect, trading slower pays, and the way I want to live my lifestyle through trading, obviously everybody's goal at the end of it is obviously to make money and have a bit of freedom with their life.
Of course.
I feel like with gold, you can get into a trade and you get off the charts within 30 minutes to an hour.
100%.
You trade in other pays and you could be stuck there. I've seen some guys trade Jappy pays and they'll consolidate for it's not for me.
Yeah, no, I'm the same.
How did you stumble across Evercrest specifically, and what made you sort of purchase with them?
I found Evercrest through you, to be honest. I think my first phase, my first account that I bought was obviously through your discount code. And I've just really kind of gelled into them, if that's the word. I find that they're really they help you out a lot. For example, support 24/7. I could send them a message in the space of 30 seconds. They're answering back. The rules, in my opinion, are the best in the game. And payout was 5-10 minutes. It was just ridiculous. Never seen anything like it in a prop firm, to be honest. So
yeah, I agree. I've traded many firms. I've always been an advocate to stick to the larger firms such as FTMO. I only used to trade with FTMO, but obviously knowing the guys from Evercrest from a background, that sort of swayed me to try with them. And it's the same as you, support has been unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable.
Definitely.
Replies within, like I said, a minute, 2 minutes, and your issue sorted. Without naming them, have you tried other firms in the past, and like how would you sort of compare, regardless of, like, you couldn't compare the rules, compare the conditions?
Yeah. I've been with other props. Like I said, my first payout was with a different prop, Spanish prop. Obviously, won't give names, but yeah, I like I said, I was literally that whole year I was working with them, and it was just blowing accounts, like I said, non-stop. And then I got that 3.5k payout, and like I said, I bought them two 200k accounts, passed them literally in a space of a week, and I got my first payout on a big account, which was, I think, 8.5k. And then on the other account, like a week after, I got another 8.5k payout. Started again. I was up for, I think, I don't know, 12 grand. I was up 80%, another 9k. And then after that, they kind of got in touch with me saying, listen, you know, we want to try you out for a copy trade and this, that, all that, and we're going to limit your payouts to 6k. And I was with them until last week. I had, I think, 9k to be paid out, and they said no, basically. Broke a rule. You know, so yeah, stop working with them. And yeah, I'm stuck to Evercrest at the moment, like I said, and I've been recommending them to everyone, you know, that I know that, you know, is in the space. A few of the lads over here have already bought accounts with them. So yeah, really happy with them, man. Really happy with them.
Yeah, you find that a lot. It's the case of, like, you're taking too much money out of them, essentially, unless they've got an infrastructure which allows them to sort of pull you onto a live account, or they've got a master margin or something along them lines to be able to mitigate your risk slightly.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you would change about Evercrest? It could be the rules, you know, better conditions. I know, obviously, for me, trading gold, if I get slipped on gold, for example, even I can feel like, I've been done by there, but at the same time, I realise the pair that I'm trading. You know what I mean? So it's like, but is there anything in particular you would find you would change?
I mean, I consider myself as, you know, you could class yourself as a scalper. You know, obviously, I'm not a swing trader. You know, I like you yourself. I like getting in the market, and in a space of half an hour max, I want to be out. You know, so there are times where, for example, like, I'm a reversal trader as well. I do, you know, like continuation trades, but I do look for, like, the highest point. If I'm looking for sells, I'm looking for the highest point to get in and start, you know, the sell off, vice versa, the other way around. So the only rule that I would kind of, which I'll come into now, that I would change is the 2-minute rule, because there's times where, you know, my stop loss, for example, is put in a place where, you know, the candles are showing me where it needs to go, you know, and that candle where my stop loss might be will probably, you know, be like 2 or 3 candles away on the 1 minute from where my entry is. And like we've said, gold is very wicky, you know, and it can just inject, and that's it. I did have a for the 2 minute, and I did send them a message, say, listen, I'm very sorry, it's the first time this has happened. You know, please keep it in mind. You know, I don't want to be breaking any rules. You know, I do follow the rules and try and follow them all the time. And he basically, whoever, you know, come back to me, said, listen, we've seen that, you know, this is the first time that it's happened. You know, we're not going to do anything, you know, take anything away from you. Just, you know, keep it in mind for the next, you know, positions and this, that, and the other. But like I said, you know, I could have got into, you know, a position straight after that, and the same thing could have happened again. And that's when it starts, you know. So, like I said, you know, if it was swing trading, you know, it wouldn't be a problem, because, you know, my stop loss is going to be a lot higher or a lot lower. But because I'm a scalper, you know, I think, you know, 2 minutes, you know, it's a bit too tight, you know.
I feel like the one thing I'll say where I've pressed in that respect is obviously the 2-minute rule for some firms. I've seen it, and I've seen loads of stuff on Twitter about it. Is like, if you were to trade within 2 minutes, your account's gone. Whereas I believe Evercrest is for 2 minutes, but if you profit within those 2 minutes, it's sort of deducted from your payout instead of obviously a breach. I don't think, obviously, the stop loss stuff, I don't really think they count that, because obviously it's a loss anyway. But yeah, like I same as you, I like to be in and out of the market. I don't tend to hit TP within 2 minutes, luckily. Well, I say luckily, I'd love to hit my TP in 2 minutes, to be honest with you. But there's those holding rules. I think I would agree in terms of, you know, in case of a big spike, as I enter a trade, and I have my TP in a minute, that deducted, it could be like, you know, bit of a pain in the arse, but it is what it is.
No, but other than that, every other rule is literally, you know, best in the game. At the moment, they're the best in the game for me. I'm really happy with them. So
you touched on it a little bit there, but just give me a little bit of an insight into, like, your trading style. What, like, do you trade off like OBs? Is it ICT? Is it SMC? Is it?
I would kind of class myself as a hybrid trader, to be honest, because this last year I've tried everything, like literally absolutely everything. And I come across over this past, 3 months, like I said, since January, which was my first payout, it was January to January, just losing money. And then January, I kind of come across IFEGs, CISDs, kind of knowing the direction of the market, like using session liquidity, for example, you know, where the market wants to go before I'm actually getting into the market. Because like the entry model that I use, you know, it could probably show up 50 times a day, you know, and I could get in every single time and it will just hit my stop loss. And then that did happen to me. So there was like a point where it kind of clicked and said, well, why is this happening? You know, I'm getting the entry model, it's showing up, but why isn't it going in my way? And then I kind of, you know, like come across, well, you know, it's got to tap into here first before it can go somewhere else, you know, like a higher time frame, you know, points of interest, etc., etc. So yeah, I like waiting for Asia low or Asia high to be swept to kind of see where the market wants to go, see what the market's done the day before, and then basically just you know, if it sweeps the low, I'll try and target the high. If it sweeps the high, try and target the low. I like sweep IFEG, retest on the CISD, and just aim for you know, higher points of interest basically, and that's kind of what's worked for me.
Yeah, similar to mine. Mine's very much the same. It's, you know, sweep liquidity into an FEG, changing state, and go from there. Like I said, it works for me, and there's obviously work if you with your payout. So touching on your payout, obviously talk us through. You said you've got one more lined up potentially, which is great. But through the first one which you've received, how much was it, and what was the process like from obviously requesting it to actually getting paid it?
Okay, first payout, I think it was nearly 6.5k. Obviously 20%, you know, profit split. Payout was just, you know, incredible. Like, you know, comparing to the other prop firms, you know, they'll send you a Gmail saying, you know, oh, well, we need 72 hours business working days to, you know, look at, you know, and I was expecting the same from, you know, Evercrest. And as soon as I you know, requested it, it was, you know, space of 10 minutes, like literally 10 minutes, it was in the account. You do have to obviously, you know, have a Rise account, which, you know, obviously in my personal opinion over here in Spain, it's a bit, you know, hard to name, you know, start up and that. But other than that, you know, I managed to do it and went straight in. And then from there, you know, into a bank account, whether or not you use crypto or fiat, you know, it supports everything. So yeah, really happy with it, man. Really happy with it.
Yeah, I've seen some crazy fast payouts. I feel like the industry is like one of the ways to set apart in the industry now and stand out is through your payouts. There's big firms at the moment struggling with delays and stuff like that. So like new firms like Evercrest coming in, you know, setting a standard of like, you know, instant payouts, getting paid within 24 hours. A lot of firms say it and they take a full 24 hours, but like you said, I've seen some payouts within like 2 minutes, and like $6.5 grand within 10 minutes is like, that's normally a payout the firms would look at and think, oh, we need to assess this, look into this a bit more. So yeah, it's obviously awesome that you were paid out so quick. And I feel like the last question then, obviously based off all this interview, is would you recommend it to a friend, a trader, family, and just base that on your experience, like let them know your experience and recommend the firm to them?
Yeah, 100% recommend. 100% recommend it. Yeah, like I said, I've got a few lads that, you know, that trade over here as well in Spain, and yeah, they've already bought a few accounts. So hopefully, you know, I'll be able to get a few more on board and yeah, get the ball rolling. So I
was going to say, maybe set up your affiliate link and get them on through that, get some commissions for it.
Yeah, man, should do.
No, but Brad, thank you very much. It was a pleasure. Lovely to meet you as well. This is the first time meeting you. Pal. But yeah, that was Bradley's story and his success with Evercrest funding.